Welcome to Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development. As record time of 9:41 a.m. on the Eastern Time on April 24th on Monday. Hope you guys have a good weekend and also happy Monday. We are almost to May already. I cannot believe it. This is the last week of April technically. And next thing you know, I'm turning 32 coming up. So my birthday's on May 3rd. So it is definitely looking it's approaching very shortly. I would say shorter than expected, which is, I don't know. I guess as you get older, life just flashes by your eyes, right? So with respect to Ethereum, $100,863, up about 0.08% so far. And on Bitcoin side of the equation as well, we're relatively also trading around the same level, currently up about 0.13% as well. On the equity side, you could see that as of this morning, we are, I guess, treading water, not really up or down. Across the whole market, it's really just kind of doing the same thing, right? Consolidating on a sideways fashion, knowing the fact that across the spectrum, we've been experiencing some correction so far, knowing the fact that, with respect to the recent macro affectation, for Ethereum specifically, that was the Shanghai update. And also with respect to the debacle from the financial sector, the SVB collapse, First Republic, Credit Suisse, the acquisition from UBS, etc., driving this stir that we see in front of us. So take a look at the new media front before we dive into the technical. It seems like, most of the verbiage is pointing towards the tech earning that's coming out, which, it makes sense, right? We're basically going to be reporting for the Q1 earnings. And Q1 typically is a little bit more muted or dampened in comparison to other quarters of the year, due to the fact that it's holiday season. Also, it's the beginning of the new year, so the expectations will be kind of, I would say, frothy. So we have to kind of see how this will progress going forward. But obviously the main question mark is around like how are the tech companies, with the valuation being diminished so far, what's the trajectory going forward with the the interest hikes, with their guidance on a company's outlook perspective, and what do we see from guidance from management team across the spectrum, right? And I think as we learn more about everything, we're with respect to price hikes, interest rates hikes, inflationary pressure, when is the guidance for the bull market to begin, things like that, we will get some more clarity. And also with respect to the FOMC meeting CPI report that will be coming out as well. These are all macro factors that we need to be aware of, but obviously, again, right, based on the technical purely, we know that the reversal should be happening sometimes like in late summer to fall coming up. So we will dive into the technical to see what that really means. So again, with respect to recording time of 9:44 a.m. on Eastern Time on the 24th of April on Monday, we are again, right, gliding on a sideways fashion of 47 out of 70 on a daily perspective, trading above 1850, which is a substantive consolidated level, right? So anything below 1850 to 1750 is good level to DCA around based on a technical setup. On the weekly front, you can see that we still have some separation at 56 out of 70. So what this is telling us is that we do need to correct a little bit for the chart to obviously cross down. Well, firstly form a depth cross to correlate with the monthly chart, right? Which the monthly chart, you can see that we're squeezing tighter and tighter and tighter, looking for a golden cross to be formed. Again, months away, so it is looking like the bull market is around the corner just based on the the macro front. But obviously we need to kind of get over these hurdles, right? With firstly the technical chart needs to kind of cross down before we cross up. We also need to come down to more of a consolidated level to kind of digest everything that we have seen so far, the Shanghai updates combined with the negative macro catalyst coming from the financial sector, and before we obviously normalize, consolidate, and then drive up from here, right? Same thing for Bitcoin. You can see that we're also holding on by a thread at 27,500 right now. Large separation, crossed down 58 out of 70. Monthly, it is looking like we're consolidating, about to take off as well. So it seems like we're trading quite comparably. On a daily front, we are at 45 out of 70. with large separation. So it does look like we need to cross up before we cross down. So so you can see that right now we are have this big death cross, which translates into these red candles, but you can see that we are relatively suppressed compared to Ethereum, which makes sense because of the range of movements that we have seen so far. So the weekly, you could see that they're showing some opposition. So what this is saying is that in the near term we might see some run up back up to the 29,000. But remember, the weekly, it is still looking like we need to cross down, because like this is something that we're still waiting on for Ethereum and Bitcoin to kind of do so before we match up on all the way on the monthly, right? So again, seeing lower levels in near term before we run up is, very high possibility, before we begin the bull market from here. On the index front, you can see that SPY is at 412 right now. Quite bullish on the monthly, again, months out. Weekly, it is looking like we need to cross down before we cross up with this reverse head and shoulder pattern. So it is looking like we are forming a bullish pattern on the macro perspective, but also on the resistance and the MACD front. So daily is looking like we're about to form a mega death cross. You can see it clearly, right? So something to be aware of, right? So again, short-term dump, long-term pump from here, okay? So appreciate you for joining me today. Check out our Patreon for our latest updates and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, have a good one. Take care. Bye.